Okay, so I'm going to add my second view controller for my my info page, right? We got an info page. So I'm going to add a view controller. Okay. We can change the background color of that if you want. So a new view controller. Let's put our title on there. Let's put our title on there. So I'm going to duplicate the title. And then, of course, if you remember how I gave that constraints to the center, right? And then we gave it down like that. Then let's put our back button in there. We can duplicate that as well. I know it's ugly. We can give that a center. Or no, don't do that center first. We got to give it size, right? Size. Then center. Then a line down. And then let's bring in a web screen. Okay, so I'm gonna pull from his Wikipedia page, right? This guy has a Wikipedia page, right? So I'm gonna take and make a box, and we'll take his Wikipedia page, and we'll put it in that box. Okay? So let's follow the instructions. You got your hand up? You want to follow? I'm going to follow this. Okay. So the first paragraph here is just about the table view. We will do that, in, like I said, another lesson. What's more important is where you go down to where it says add a new scene. You can see that at the bottom there. For the purpose of this example, we'll add a new view controller. We've already done that. That's what we have on the screen, right? A new view controller. With this in mind, begin by loading the table view story project created in the previous chapter. We don't need that right now. But what we do need is we need the new programming file. So how do you make the new programming file? See it right there where it says once the project is loaded, we need to add a new UI view controller subclass to our project file. To select File, New File, and we're going to do a Cocoa Touch class. That's how you make a new Swift file. Okay, do you see that at the bottom there? And we'll add that, and then you need to attach that subclass that we're making here to the new view controller. So we need to attach it. Okay. Now, right now they call it Attraction Detail View Controller. You see that? That could be any name, right? This could be Nathan's Web View Controller, or whatever you want to call it, right? That name is made up. The Attraction Detail View Controller is a made up word. So let's make the file. Here's how you make the file. Again, to make a new Swift file just for this view controller right here, you're going to make a new Swift file just for this view controller here. We're going to go to File, New, File. Then we're going to go to the Cocoa Touch. See it right there? It's the first one highlighted. Do you see it? Called the Cocoa Touch class. Okay. Go next. It's going to ask us what kind of class is it. You're going to give it a name. So you want to make sure that this class down here, there's a pull down menu here. We want to make sure it's a view controller. A UI view controller. You see this right here? This is where you choose that. See it right here? UI view controller right here. Do you see this right here? This pull down menu. You want UI view controller. Name the new class Attraction View. We can follow the detail if you want. We can call it Attraction. We can use the names that's in there. Attraction Detail View.
Well, I actually have to go, unfortunately.
That's fine. I'm
I can
recording this.
Right, and you, okay.
I'm just going through the handout here. I'm sure you can do that next week.
Thank you for recording.
Okay, so again, I'm going to use the same name that they have there. Do you see it? Attraction View Controller. Make sure it says UI View Controller here. You don't need to create an XIB file. You don't need to do that. And then next, you're going to go next. It's going to ask you where to save it. We can just save it in our folder. That's fine. Hit create. There it is. So what you're looking at now is a view controller that we created. So it's a programming file for that one, for this one, for that one only. The next step is you need to attach that file that you just made to this. You need to tell it that you need to use it. You want to attach that file you just made to this. To do that, go back to your storyboard. Notice the name up here. See what it says Attraction Detail View Controller? It's a Swift file. Do you see that up there? Okay, so next, we're going to go back to our storyboard. So don't worry about the top of the second page there. That's how they're doing navigation there. And then the bottom there where it says adding navigation controller, we don't need that right now. You're not doing that page. The third page, you don't have to do that either because we're going to do it a different way. What you need to do is jump down to the bottom of the third page in the handout where it says modifying the attraction view detail controller class. Do you see that? The bottom of the third page in the handout. The bottom of the third page in the handout. Do you see where it says modifying the attraction detail view controller class? Do you see that? Okay. Let's do the navigation first and then we'll get to that. So let's do the navigation. So how is the navigation going to be done? Well, again, we're going to do the same way where we go About Me. See the About Me right there? And I need to make my window a little smaller here. So again, I'm going to go from the About Me. I'm going to hold the Control key down and I'm going to go to that window right there and show. So again, Control drag the About Me to here. If you want, you can actually put it underneath it. You can see the line. See how the line going to it? So that way we know. And then we can put this one down below it too. Do you see that? So we got these lines. Now we need to get the back to go back. I think we would have to, I don't know. Can we use the same one, the same back? Let's try it. Let me zoom in again. Let's see if we can use the same back, the same programming for back. Again, Control click here and then go back to the unwind segue. See where it says go back to unsigned segue? So that would go back to here then. So we can test it before we continue. Let's test it. Let's test it, test it, test it. So the same back button goes back to the same way. Hold on. Show. Yeah, there. And then goes back. See that? And this goes to pictures. About Me. Pictures. About Me. Okay, so we got it going back. So I did it the same way. I don't know why this is jumping to this. Why did it jump to that? Oh, that's not good. Okay, let's go back. Okay. So I did it the same way as we did before. It uses the same code because it's just going back to the last scene, right? So you can use the same method because all that programming was doing was going back to the next scene, right? Okay, let's put our web page on there. Don't worry, let me finish my discussion here and then I'll come and help you. Okay? So again, the unwind is the same way. Okay. Before we continue, we need to attach the new view controller. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, we don't need that right now. Okay, you guys ready? I'm going to add my, so it goes here. So the next step is to make sure the programming is attached to this. So select this one, select this view controller here, and you notice in the upper corner up here there's some data right here. Do you see this little box right here, the one that says right here, this one? It says show identity inspector. Do you see that one? So inside there, you notice it says class here. Do you see where it says class? You're going to use the pull down menu, and that's not showing. It should show there. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Let me pause this. Okay, let's just try and put the web page in there and we'll see. I think the other thing we'd need to do also is to load the web pieces. Okay, let me just try that. Again, I'm going to, let's not worry about the Swift file for right this second. I swear we're going to have to attach it though somehow. To place the object on the screen, there is an option for a web page. So there is a web view. It's what's called a web view. So you can type in web, and it's called the web view. Oh, it's deprecated. WebKit. Display embedded content that enables content navigation. I guess we're doing WebKit now instead of web view. Web view. Well, sounds like a good idea. So let's put that in. The easiest thing to do is to scale it to the size that you want it to be. Let me put it in there. And then you need to give it constraints. So you can give it size constraints. Now for the size constraints, you don't want it to, you want it to scale. So you don't want to give it a fixed size. So this object that I just put in there, which is the web view, you don't want to give it a fixed size. But what you want to do is underneath the alignment options, I'm going to say horizontal center. And then I want to give it, I'm going to give it not a fixed size. I just want to give it 6. I'm just going to do the edges like that. And that's fine, okay? It'll scale to the size because it'll keep the dimension. So again, I just gave it I gave it all 4 of these, and it'll stay where it's at because it knows how far down it is. It'll scale to the edge. Did you see that? That was just all 4 of these I gave it. And I think that's fine. The one that's not deprecated. Didn't it say the first one was deprecated? Okay. So now I swear I want to be able to, there we go, I double clicked on that. And there it is. I was clicking on the wrong spot. So double click until it's blue. Do you see how it's blue now? I double clicked so it's blue. And once you double click to it's blue, if you go to this option right here, the show identity, your attraction detail view controller should show up right here. Do you see that? Right here. So that way I have a programming for this window. See it right here? I double clicked up here so it's blue. See how it's blue? Then in the class, see right here, this option here, in the class option, then I chose the attraction. So this is the one we made. That's the Swift file we made. So now we can do the programming just for this view controller. I was just not clicking properly. So the next thing would be to go and program that. To program this, we need to go to the Olympics, so you have it over there. And then once you have the Olympics there, you need to make sure that you're viewing the right one. So we need to make this over here. And this is the wrong one. We don't want this one here. We want the one that's called Attraction Detail View Controller. So right up here at the very top, you can change which view controller. And this is the one we want. We want the Attraction Detail View Controller right there. And so this is where we're going to put the programming for the actual web page. To put the program for the web page, we're going to go down to, you'll notice right here where it says Class Attraction Detail View Controller, UI View Controller. Do you notice in the handout, I'm on 204 from this handout, you notice they make a string. So they got a variable website :string with a question mark. So up here, right here, they put a variable, and then they call it website. So this is made up word. You can put whatever you want there. Colon, and then they make it a string, string, with a question mark, because it doesn't have a value yet. It doesn't have a value yet here. So again, make sure you're putting it into the right programming file. Then I'm going to jump down. Next, you're going to go to where, with the web view selected in the storyboard canvas, display the auto layout. We already did that. We already gave the nearest neighbors. We already gave it constraints. Display the assistant editor panel and verify that the editor is displaying the content of the attraction view controller. Let's see. We click here. Display the assistant editor panel and verify that the editor is displaying the content of the attraction view controller. Control-click on the web view and drag a position just below the class declaration. Release the line, and the resulting connection establishes an outlet for the web view. So you want to control-drag this view into this Swift file, resulting in a line. Where do we drag it? I believe you drag it below, down here, under the view did load. So you need it down here. I think above the do any additional after loading the view. I don't know if I should do it below this or above this.
After this, right? So once it's loaded, then you want to...
Yeah, but is it above this one or below it?
Inside.
Above this?
Yeah, above.
Above that. Okay. Again, you're going to control drag it. No. It has to be below. Look. It won't even let me drag it up there. So it's going to be down here. Let the mouse up, and when you let the mouse up, you need to give this a link here. And so we're giving in an outlet, okay? So make sure this is outlet, not action. If it was a button, it would have action, right? Remember when we were doing that? And right now, they're going to call it the web view. Remember we gave it a string up here? Oh, I called it website up here, didn't I? Oh, I did website. What am I looking for? I'm looking for release the line of routing, drag, establish outlet connection, name web view. I guess let's just call it web with a capital V, V-I-E-W, web view. When the detail view appears, the web view will need to load the page referencing the website string variable. This can be achieved by adding code to the view did load method of the attraction view controller as following. So let's hit connect. Uh-oh. Maybe it was supposed to be up here.
Import WebKit. You have to import it.
Up here?
Yeah. Import WebKit.
WebKit?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, double click. No, there we go. Okay, so we have the web click. We have an outlet. Next would be to put the code in for the string. It's an if statement. It's on the next page. So that's up here. They have an if statement there. Do you see that on the top of page 205? If let address equals website let web URL equal URL, and then we have a string colon address, yes, and then we have let URL request equal URL request URL web URL with an exclamation point, and then web view dot load request URL request and then we need to give it a oh god, I spelled that wrong. Request, RUQUEST, no? Did I spell that wrong? I don't know, let's fix it. I guess they changed it. You don't need load request, it said just load. Okay, now we need to tell it which website. You don't have to do the override storyboard segue. You don't have to send that data. We need to tell it what website though.
You define a variable constant string.
What's that?
Do we have to define a string?
Yeah,
We can actually pass that address, right?
we need to give it an address,
We
yes.
can define a address equal to and then
I gotta find it though. Where do we tell it the address? Let me pause this for a moment. So we have the name, we got the string, it's an S. That's, I don't know. I remember last time I couldn't get it to work. I had to go and give permission. We'll see. Let me try it. Pictures work. Oh, it did work. Imagine that. Okay, so that was a little tricky, I know, but this helped a little bit. The handout helped a little bit, right?